You know, sometimes you wonder if my last guest had an inkling that someone who's a footballer will be coming in next. Joining me now is Chief, I like to put that, Chief Segun Odegbami. He's moving into the political fray of Ogun State as the governorship candidate for the Labour Party. Good to have you join me.
Zenith Labour Party.
Zenith Labour Party.
Yeah.
Let's put that in. Well, good to see you.
Thank you, Suleiman.
So excited to say to you. First, I called the sports crew and I told them here in TV, so I said, guess who's coming? They said, who? I said, mathematical Segun Odegbami. I got him before you guys, and we just talking about it. They screamed, they, oh my God. Now, you know, when we spoke on the phone, I saw, you know, I could feel the passion and the belief, and which many also share, and I'll say I share that with you. Tell us why you decided to come again, you know, seeking your people's votes for the governorship of Ogun State.
Let me reassure everyone that I'm not a stupid person. To know
certainly you're not.
To know that I would be going into a territory that was completely strange to me 9 months ago. I had absolutely no desire, no ambition to be governor of my state. But circumstances that I could not resist made me to decide to go against the tide of everything that you needed to succeed in politics. First of all, I'm not a politician. I wasn't, now I am. I had no experience in politics beyond casting my vote and going occasionally with 1 or 2 governorship aspirants to just go and show my people in my environment. I had no structure, no followership, no godfather, no resources to run a successful campaign, following what people tell me is needed to run such campaigns. So I had absolutely nothing to have motivated me to go into politics. Yet, I got up and I said I wanted to be governor of Ogun State. So it meant that whatever it was that made me take that decision must be very, very serious. And it is serious because I have lived continuously now, almost continuously, for 12 and a half years in Abeokuta in Ogun State. And in one way or the other, I have been friends, brothers with the past governors of the state, including the present one, who is a good friend of mine. And I have related with a group called the Afenifere Renewal Group. You know my background, I grew up in Jos. I'm more familiar with the, you know, northern people for quite some time. And I went to Ibadan, did not even live in Abeokuta. And then I'm just coming to Abeokuta for the first time in 12 and a half years. So everything.
You know, I spoke to someone about you coming on the show, yeah. And he goes, I really wish I can vote for him because, you know, we have a system whereby it is where you register that you can actually vote, except you move your vote. Yes. And, you know, you are liked by a lot of people, you're loved by your people. Are you cashing in on that likeness, or is it that you have something truly to offer beyond fame, stardom, which you already have?
So I'm not looking for fame. I'm not looking for money because I'm a comfortable person. I'm not looking for opportunity to be governor because I tell you, bring any governor in Nigeria and put me side by side with them, you will still find that a lot of more people even know me than the governor. So I wasn't looking for any one of those things. But I realized that in Ogun State, we have a people that are black, that are Yoruba, that are very well educated, they are very well cultured. The capacity of the people in that environment is incredible. The young people that are there, we have the largest number of tertiary institutions probably in Nigeria, and all of that. And you look at the environment, we should be amongst the most progressive people in the world. The community of Ogun State, for example, should lead the rest of Nigeria in positioning us side by side China, Japan, and all those other countries. They should. It should.
But that's not happening now.
But where are we? We are amongst the poorest people in the world. A woman, 6.5 months pregnant, delivered this child prematurely. They were looking for an incubator for 3 hours, and the baby died. This is 21st century Ogun State. And who are those showing up to lead the next elections? Just go and check. With all the capacity that we have in Ogun State, that I, a football player, should dare to come out to challenge those that have shown interest now means a great deal. I think when you look at the capacity there, the people in that place should wake up every morning and weep, because we have just thrown away the greatest opportunities we have to develop not just Ogun State, to lead Nigeria and to lead the black race in the world. And we have 4 years to do it, 4 years.
And in doing that, one key sector that we must also look at is education. And now you said something, you just reminded the people, and you said you're a footballer, but you're a footballer with a difference. Time was when a lot of footballers never gave any thought to education, not only in Nigeria, you agree, even in Europe and America.
Absolutely.
Pretty much a lot of them never tried to go back to school. Well, we've seen what education has done for George Weah, President Weah of Liberia.
Absolutely.
Tell us what plans you have for education, especially for those who don't have the wherewithal to go to school when you become governor.
I will tell you 3 things. I have been prepared. I didn't know that the universe had just prepared me to take care of some of the greatest needs of the people of Ogun State. One is health. I am a consultant, as I sit before you, for 3 international organizations on health matters. I'm a consultant to the Nigerian Heart Foundation. I have worked in Jomo Kenyatta University. I've worked a little bit for IDRC in Canada. I was a participant at the 13th Health Congress in Ethiopia, where I was the only non-medical personnel that went to address their congress on issues that are related to non-communicable diseases, young people in education, in school, active transport, the amount of physical activity you do, that is in health. And I can go on and on. In education, I went to Rhode Island University in 2004. By the time I came back, I set up an institution that has become a model. After 4 years, I was nominated for an international award by in the UK. They sent me there. Tony Blair was ambassador of that organization for my contributions to education and social inclusion in my environment.
And all this, at that point in time, you never gave thought that you were going to go into politics.
So that's what I'm saying. So when it comes to education, I have 11 years of grounding, practical education to combine education with sports and health in a small institution in Abeokuta, where every year now, this past year, for example, 14 people graduated. Whilst they were sitting their final exams, 10 American universities had come in to offer them 5 American universities had come in to offer 10 of those students scholarship because of their proficiency in academics and in sports. This is a model for the rest of the country. What I want to do, address the issue of health. Because, in fact, the issue of the people, my motto is the people, my priority. That's why I joined Zenith Labour Party, because I'm one with the Labour organization, the Labour Congress. They got me into Zenith Labour Party. And that's the structure. People say there's no structure. You don't have a structure. You don't have people. You have the Nigerian workers behind you, the Nigerian Labour Congress behind you, the Trade Union Congress behind you, and you say, I have no structures. I am a football player. The passion with which people follow football all over the world is such that somebody was telling me, if they stop football in the world, a quarter of the world will commit suicide. I have that constituency behind me. People should be ready for a revolution, a cultural revolution, a political revolution in Ogun State, because we are going to do everything contrary to how people have been doing things in politics. Is it money? Is it power? Is it God-fearism? Is it whatever it is? We are going to do the direct opposite. And we are going to win in Nigerian politics.
Chief Odegbami, in Nigerian politics, you use the word in your opening sequence, which is a truth that we have seen. It's a truism that Nigeria will always ask, where's your structure?
Exactly.
So, do you have a structure?
Absolutely. The Nigerian masses, the handicapped, the retirees, the elderly, you know, all of that group, they constitute my own structure. The people constitute my structure. Who are those who vote? They are in the minority. 307,000 people voted for my governor, present-day governor, to become governor. 307,000 people out of a population of about almost 4 million. Where are the rest? They are sitting down passive. They are not doing anything about it, particularly the elite, to now enable an ordinary footballer to dare and come out and win. It is going to change the paradigm of politics in this country. I tell you, that is the mission. And unfortunately for all of them, I have the mentality of a sportsman. I'm coming into it with the mentality of a sportsman, where you do not have to come first to be a winner. I go in there unafraid. The only thing I'm thinking about is winning. I'm strategizing. I'm focusing.
I'll tell you something, you know, watching you talk now, what comes to mind is two constituencies which you also belong to, media and sports. You know, you've been a columnist to a lot of people, you've been writing, you've featured in a lot of, you know, broadcast shows. Let's talk more about these two constituencies quickly, if we can, and see how you can use that as a tool to winning these elections.
Thank you, Suleiman. You've just given me a tip.
I'm trying to be as mathematical as you've always been.
You know what I intend to do? I know I have offended my people in the media, but yet they are going to be part of those that will make me win.
Why did you say you've offended them?
You know, because I didn't seek anybody's opinion or permission or advice or whatever.
I can speak on their behalf.
Because
I don't think the media is angry with anyone.
If I had gone to them, I tell you, 99% of the people, you know, if I had gone to them, they would have said, Segun, don't dare. That is not your area. That's not your territory. You have integrity. You have a name. You see, that's why I didn't go to anybody. So now that I have gone, I have come to a point of no return. Now, I have not pasted the poster, I have not done a billboard, I have not done nothing. But now is the time that I'm going to go out and start to do my own politicking, to talk from house to house, person to person, unafraid. I have no money, I have not borrowed money from anybody to go into it. I'm going to use my resources and the resources that a few people help me with.
Are you thinking of fundraising anytime soon?
Eventually, if it comes. But the media will come when I explain to them what this situation is. I'm writing to the media to let them know what this is about, so that with them we have won. With the other constituency of players, of administrators, of coaches, of students in schools who are aspiring to play sports, not just sports, even the arts itself, the totality of the arts. These are the people that will come. They will vote, they will protect their votes. I'm not going to give them any money because I don't have to bribe them.
You know, we've always talked about thugs or thuggery in our politics, and many would say if you don't have your own thugs, you can't seem to be ready for politics.
Then you don't understand my constituency. I am coming from the constituency of a footballer. Do you know the people that supported us the most as footballers? These are the thugs. These are the taxi drivers. These are the motorcycle riders. They looted my house in Ibadan, took away my things. And by the time I reported to the police and they couldn't find it, those thugs came to me and took me to the head of the robbers in that our area. And when I got there, it was a regular supporter of our club, Shooting Stars. Segun, they took your things, and before you knew it, they returned every single thing that they stole from me. I am the president of thugs because my constituency is with those poor people, those people you see on the streets who will stop traffic.
Are you actually thinking of ways to really rehabilitate some of these people? Because when you encounter some of them, maybe you have an ugly situation sometimes, and you see how some of them come and they're like angels, truly. In all honesty, sometimes you're in a fix and some of these people emerge and they help you, and you're like, oh my God, how did this just happen? Are you trying, do you have a map, a blueprint for these people and how you can actually take them off such kind of lifestyles now? Because I don't think you'll be happy to see them live such kind of life when you become governor.
We must make all our people productive. That's why I joined the Zenith Labour Party. All our people. Somebody asked me, what would you do on day one when you become governor? I said, I'm going to make a pronouncement and make sure that every government institution, every government infrastructure provides facilities for the physically challenged. That would be the first thing I would do. Because if you know their numbers of physically challenged, people who are really suffering, who would need to just go to use the toilet. To use the toilet is a huge burden for the physically challenged. Just imagine what they go through. And these people are in such numbers, it is unbelievable, unhappy. The United States of America, check their constitution. One of the first things it says is the pursuit of happiness. It doesn't talk about building skyscrapers. We want to make the people happy. So we will start from the rock bottom, from the physically challenged, to the elderly, to the retirees who are not being paid now, to all those people who need to be happy, to become productive, to give them capacity for education, for training, for vocational training, to be entrepreneurs. Our youth they want to go into the arts. They are into music, they are into dance, they are into drama, they are into film, they are into sports. This is a huge, it is the third largest industry in the world, and it is growing. We must channel their energies and their passion in that direction, because our mission, in fact, our vision is that we would, in Abeokuta, start the beginning of a new black consciousness, civilization in the world, culture and civilization, black for all blacks in the world. We would change the narrative of the economics, because we have been following Western prescription for our economic emancipation.
So let's speak more about that, if you will. When you talk about the economy of Ogun State, how do you hope to, make it more vibrant than what it is at the moment?
Let me just speak generally for you. You know that I'm not really well trained in anything. If you come now, you want to discuss sports with me, I will deal with you completely, because that is what I've spent the past 47 years of my life doing. As leader of Ogun State, we don't pick our leaders because they are the richest, they are the most educated, or they are the most powerful. We choose our leaders based on integrity, on decency, on the values they espouse, and then they would assemble. That is the traditional Yoruba way. They would assemble the best brains, which we have in Ogun State in all capacities, whether it's in the economy, whether it is in health, whether it is in sports, whatever it is. They are in overabundance in that state. We would assemble them. I am just a tool of God to come and answer to the needs of my people, to the cries of my people. So I can't tell you now. I'm going to be able to tell other people when the time comes what my economic blueprint will be, what my sports blueprint will be, what that will be and that. But I tell you, we are going to get the best brains, people who are experts in this field. And they are there. They are all over from Ogun State, who can turn that state around, do what Obafemi Awolowo did in 4.5 years. He did what he did in 4.5 years to position the West to become one of the fastest developing areas in the world. We can do it in 4 years. More resources now, a smaller environment, more capacity, more younger ones who are very, very trained. If you just go through their list everywhere, we have a deep, rich history and culture in that environment. Everything is perfect for us to move to the 24th century.
Already people in Ogun State and so many places already say, Chief Odegbami, we're with you. Definitely we're going to give you the votes. We've seen people on election day, when the votes are being counted, we just see about 3 or 4 or 5. And we keep asking, is it that the man or the woman's spouse voted, maybe 2 or 3 children, or maybe his or her priest? And what happened to those thousands of people who all claim that they were with him or her on, prior to election? Doesn't that also worry you, that perhaps all of these people telling me or urging me to go on election day, they just might turn their backs on me, especially when someone gives them money. Money in our politics is still very key.
Stomach infrastructure. But, you know, I am focused. That's why I said they are unfortunate that they have a sports person who is coming in there, because all my focus is to win. I'm not thinking of any other thing but winning. You understand? I'm not thinking that there is a possibility, because I'm not taking myself there. The conditions are so against me that even now, so many people say they can't even find me on the radar of Ogun State politics. That makes it fun for me. It is fun. There's no burden at all. I'm going in there confidently. That thing that you just said now, that hypothetical situation, will not happen. It will not happen. The opposite will actually be the case, because I'm going to do everything different from how things are being done and expect a different result. That's how a scientist thinks. And the different result, anything that will be different from the situation we are in now, is better than where we are.
Let's close on this, because we're actually out of time. If you were offered a different platform away from the ZLP, the Zenith Labour Party, maybe a different platform, what platform, now I'm talking about political platform, which would you have chosen?
I deliberately didn't choose any of the major parties, because I was following the message I received, not spiritual, from Pa Obafemi Awolowo. I went to his grave, and I had a conversation with him, and I told him that, look, if you were to wake up today, because he's somebody we all adore in Yoruba land, if you were to wake up today, what would you do in this present political circumstances in Ogun State? The following morning, I called Professor Banji Akintoye, who knew him very well. And I said, Prof, I asked Pa Awolowo yesterday, and I have this feeling you will tell me what Awolowo would have done. He said the first thing he would do is denounce the entire major political party. He would denounce them all, because he has disciples in them that have been pretending that they are using Obafemi Awolowo's ideology to promote progress, but they are not. He will look for a new party. He will look for new people, populate that party with new people, and start again. Awoism. Very simple messages of development and progress and productivity. The welfare of the people. Kajo Shelu, Kajo Segun. Let's do it together, the people, and let us win together.
Quite travailing. Many thanks, Segun Odegbami, for spending time with us. We do hope that, just before the elections, we'll have you again.
Thank you very much.
Best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's it on the Political Stew, and we do hope that you keep the conversation coming. You can actually join us on our YouTube channel to catch up on what you've just actually watched. See you again.